Hello, this is about Pro Tools, and I'm going to explain some of the things I did. The the sessions that I did here using Pro Tools, I either played the instruments or I had a keyboard player who I'd bring here, did some vocals here obviously, and but everything else, which is percussions, was done at somebody else's house, and he has a studio set up. So what would happen, and I'll show you here, I would send him a song, and here's an example of a song that I've got going right here. And I would go to, you can see this, I would go to File. Obviously I would save it. And then to make a copy for him to listen to, I would bounce, say bounce where to, bounce to, it's, you know, what are you doing here? I'm doing MP3s and so on and so forth, and you continue with bounce. Another screen pops up, push OK. And then it goes, well, where are you shooting this song to? And I create a file called CD. And here are the songs. And so I would click on this, click save, and then that would bounce this to a CD. Once it's in a CD, I'll show you what I did. Let's reduce all this. Then I would go to this desktop, open up my file for the songs that I bounced. I would pick on one, just say here, and then I would drag that file into iTunes. It should be appearing here in a second, which appears here. So I drag this over to iTunes, and then from iTunes it gives you a function where it says you can burn, and I would burn the song to a CD and give it to him. So then he would have the CD, he would listen to it, he has Pro Tools, then he would add a drum track to it. Then he would give me back an audio file on CD, which is, for example, he would give me a CD, it looks like this, for two of the songs. And what you do at this point is you have an audio file. So you take this CD, you put it into your computer, then let's bring Pro Tools back up, and you can go into Pro Tools, and I'll get you close, and you can import. You're importing audio. Click on that, and then it'll ask you a few other things, but basically it'll create a track and you import it into whatever song. So like in the case of what you're looking at right now, this right here is the drum track that I imported. The cool thing about that is, or what I'm trying to say is, you can import audio files into Pro Tools, and so this way the drummer who did the played the drums on this particular song, he and I never played together, and so that's kind of a cool thing. The other thing about Pro Tools that I think you're going to find out is you're going to need more than one screen. And I talked about this. I talked about this before. I think it's just very important that you have two screens, because with two screens you have the ability to pull up your, for example, pull up have your edit window and have your mix window on two different screens. And so that's real important, because you can be working, for example, on your edit window, and then on another screen you can have your mix going at the same time, and you can do two things at once. So that's what I've done here. I'm using two screens, and typically I've got my edit window going on this screen. So anyway, these are some things that I've come across in trying to use Pro Tools. The import of audio files is a really cool thing. The other thing that I found that's really necessary is to have dual monitors, so you can have the mix window up and the edit window up at the same time, so you can be listening and tweaking as you go. So just some added information. One last thing. If you get Pro Tools, or you're thinking about getting Pro Tools, you need to know that Pro Tools is absolutely a hog on RAM. So the computer that I bought here had 2 RAM, and that's basically, when you break your RAM down, that's basically saying you've got 1.75 RAM for your programs, and 0.25 RAM is going for your video. I've increased it to 4 RAM now, and it's working fine. 2 is not enough. 3 maybe. 4 is enough for me. But if you have a computer, think about upgrading your RAM. It's not that expensive, and if you're about to go into this whole Pro Tools and all that, and you're talking about buying equipment, it's absolutely necessary, in my opinion, that you have a ton of RAM. So that's I guess the third and last thing I want to talk about. Thank you.